Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather coming at you with another video. In this update, we're going to talk about some of the extreme cold temperatures that's possibly coming to the United States in December with below zero temperatures as well as well below zero wind chills. Before I do get started, if you do like weather related content, please subscribe to my channel and share with your friends on social media that like weather related content, as I will upload about 5 videos a week to keep you updated. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start off with what they call a stratospheric warming event. We talked about this 2 days ago, where we're going to get this spike in the Arctic. We're going to have a displacement of that cold Arctic air, and that's going to translate and spire down to the surface. And usually we have about a 20-day lag with these events, but I'm looking at the latest, some of the model guidance, and I'm not seeing any lag at all. I'm showing this cold air being funneled into the United States in December. So if we take it out another frame, and this is the latest update of that strat warming event, and this is really impressive. I mean, it just deepens and amplifies even further and sends this cold Arctic air funneling into the United States in December. And this is some of the heights. So this is how it's going to play out. So this is December 1st. All right. So meteorological winter starts on December 1st, and it's starting off with the vengeance, because we're going to have this cold Arctic air. We got this blocking of highs over the Alaska, over Greenland, sets up this classic flow of Arctic air that's pouring into the United States. If we take it out in another frame, it amplifies it even further on the 4th, and then expands it even further on the 7th. So we got potentially a lot of cold air coming to the U.S. in December. And here's what the anomaly looks like. So we're going to have this classic northwest flow that has this cold Arctic air pouring in. So setting up relentless Arctic highs, and it propagates all the way down into the deep south. So this cold air looks like it's definitely coming. So what typically happens is we've got that activated Pacific jet, and it causes that overrunning conditions. And then as this clears out, what happens is what they call radiational cooling. In the beginning, we've got these clouds that kind of acts like a blanket of a blanket where it kind of traps the heat. And then when you have higher winds, it's not allowed to cool as much as if the winds were down. But once the winds turn calm, that's when that cold Arctic air, and Arctic air is the coldest and densest air, and it's the driest air. So what typically happens is you have that snowfall, you've got that overrunning effect, you have the winds, you have the clouds, but as this clears out, then you've got that cold Arctic air with the high pressure overhead, calming the winds. And if there's a snowpack, then we're going to be even 5 to 10 degrees colder than it wasn't. So then that's what they call, you typically get radiational cooling. And the coldest time of the day is typically about 20 minutes after sunrise. So why is that? Well, the temperature, cold air propagates, go all the way down to the surface. Well, the temperature is not calculated at the surface. It's calculated 5 feet above the surface. So as the sun rises, it warms up the ground, and it lifts. So as that mixing takes place within that 5 feet zone, that's typically the time where you get the coldest air temperature, and it's taken by 3 different thermometers. That's the official reading and how they calculate temperature. So if we take it out to the coldest time of the year, now a lot of people have kind of moved around, so you might be living in an area that you have not experienced a winter yet. So I wanted to kind of show you this to kind of give you an idea of when typically what your coldest day of the year is. And as you can see, some of the purples, it's coming up in December actually, in the far southwestern parts of the United States. And as we go into some of the deeper purples, it mixes into the middle of December. And this will typically, you can kind of see the blues where you get the coldest day of the year. I know in Dallas-Fort Worth, it's January 4th in the central part of the United States. But as we get into some of the greens, the coldest time of the year starts shifting into January, and even possibly even February. So a lot of cold air, and it's just kind of just getting going as meteorology winter starts December 1st. And if we take it out to the latest GEFS model, and it shows this classic blocking where it's going to have this relentless flow of cold air, and this is classic from the 3rd through the 7th. So I expect a lot of cold air to be around the first week in December. And if we take a look at some of the anomaly temperatures and how it looks like temperature-wise, this is on December 3rd from the latest GEFS model that's been the most accurate so far for this winter. So that's why I'm kind of showing you this particular model, showing that cold air below normal air propagating all the way down into Florida. So you're not going to miss out, Florida. You're going to get it this time. And if we take it out to the 4th, or even in the 7th, it expands this cold air even further, and it propagates to the northeast in the first week in December. We zoom in and take a look at some of the temperatures and how this would look on December 3rd. We're starting to see below zero readings rearing its head into parts of the Dakotas and Montana, and single digits start to propagate into Minnesota and Wisconsin. And if we kind of zoom in, it shows even further where we got double digits below zero. And these are actual air temperatures for the Dakotas. And we're starting to get single digits in Iowa and Nebraska, and then it starts into Kansas, and even into Oklahoma. We were starting to get some of the 20s. But if we look at some of the temperatures taken out even further on the 4th, it deepens it even further. So we're showing teens in parts of Minnesota, 20, and this is actual air temperature coming up on possibly the following Wednesday. So this is kind of a long ways out. So this just kind of gives you an idea of some of the Arctic air that possibly might be coming into the United States for the first week of December. And if we take it out to the wind chills, that's even more impressive. And this is where it starts getting, kind of dangerous, where we're starting getting into the 30 degrees below zero readings in the Dakotas and Minnesota, and even below zero, and all the way down into Missouri and Illinois, and especially on the 4th, where it even amplifies even further. Now we're seeing almost 40 degrees below zero wind chills in parts of Minnesota, and dropping those double-digit wind chills in Missouri and Illinois and Indiana and Ohio. So there's possibly a lot of cold air that's coming in the first week in December. And if we look at the wind chill chart, this will kind of give you an idea of what to be aware of, because once you start getting into this 20 and 30 degree below zero range, you start to get frostbite in as little as 30 minutes of exposed skin. And once we start getting into the 40 below zero range, we start getting in less than 10 minutes. And it gets crazy after that. They actually changed the wind chill calculations from the 70s, where we were getting those 70, 80 degree below zero wind chills. They've actually changed the calculation on that. So we're not getting those extremes readings now. And if we take it out the second week, and this is the anomaly of the latest CFS long range model, and this is the second week in December, and this has kind of been updating every day and trending colder and colder and colder. So I'm kind of showing this now, and this shows you from the 7th through the 14th. It has much of the United States, if not all of the United States. This would be lights out if this verifies, would be 100% of the United States below average readings. And if we take it out to the entire December timeframe, and again, this has been updating and be getting colder and colder as every day goes by, as it starts to see that strat warming event take place. It shows a pretty cold December coming up for the United States. So, hey, I appreciate you guys watching, and definitely like this video. If you found value in this video, please subscribe to my channel, and definitely share with your friends on social media to catch me in the next video where I protect you before and after the storm.